an executive board member of the Next Generation in Trucking Association. Rebecca, good morning to you. Thanks for being with us.
Question of the day. Should they allow 18-year-olds to travel and truck across state lines? Right? People make the argument that if you could fight for our country at 18 years old, you should be able to truck drive and cross the state. Second is, if they're already driving a truck in their city and in their state, what's the difference if they cross state lines? So I know a lot of people feel very strongly about this on both sides, but what are your thoughts about this? Comment down below. I'm sure recently you guys heard of this Next Generation Trucking Association. Basically, they're putting programs in high schools. They're giving them simulators to use and putting together programs to get them used to trucking.
Back and forth.
With no end to the trucking crisis in sight, it's teens to the rescue. Road, they spend 30 hours in a driving simulator.
So regulations, people go, oh, you can't drive a truck until you're 21. That's false. You can actually get your CDL when you're 18. You just can't leave the state, right? So they have one of their executive association chair people get on the news media and basically say that they wrote a letter to Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of State of Transportation, saying that teens can help with this trucker shortage.
Yes, I know you guys sent a letter to U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg asking to get rid of a regulation that would restrict shipping abilities for drivers under age 21. First, I want to know, has he responded?
Per se, right? And again, I don't think there's a trucker shortage. There's a pay shortage, there's a retention shortage, and there's a lot of people don't want to work damn shortage.
He has not responded yet, and we would just like everyone to know that this is a simple change that could allow 18-year-olds to start moving those containers off the ports and to warehouses within the state borders of those drivers.
I know a lot of truck drivers definitely feel strongly about 18-year-olds not going cross state lines because they're still young, irresponsible, and can't make decisions well, and that could hurt a lot of people. But in this sounds pretty interesting because she's not saying that they're going to be leaving the state. It's the fact that the container they're picking up from their state came from a different state or different country that they're not allowed to pick it up.
There is a little nuance in the regulation that because these containers have come from outside the state at the respective ports, that 18-year-olds cannot move them because they are considered interstate commerce instead of intrastate. With a small change to the regulation that would not affect the law, 18-year-old CDL holders, not just 18-year-olds, but these are 18-year-olds who have received the training and been able to acquire their CDL license.
Yeah, so they are already qualified to drive these big trucks.
So do you think these teens would actually help the bottleneck that's happening at these ports? Because they're not leaving the state. They're just picking up a container in their state. But right now they're just not allowed to because that container came from overseas or from a different state. I mean, it does sound very interesting, right? Now, I know people are always pushing their own agenda. And so by them removing this, would that remove the law that allows 18-year-olds to truck drive out of state? Because if it does, there are a lot of people that feel very strongly about that. You know, are you able to just say, hey, just for now, we'll take out this little rule where you could still pick up containers that are from different states in your state? Or would that actually open it up to all people, you know, teens all the way up, to be able to drive it? So I'm not a fool. I know people are always pushing their own narrative and what they're trying to do, but it's very interesting. You know, it's definitely crazy times, man.